Nigeria, one of Africa's most populated and resource-rich nations, has been grappling with a wave of violence that has left communities terrified, families shattered, and entire regions on edge. From mass abductions to bandit attacks to religiously motivated violence, Nigeria's security crisis has escalated to an unprecedented level. Most of northern Nigeria, covering over 20 of the country's 36 states, is blanketed by insecurity, disrupting daily lives, including travel and farming. For more than 15 years, a series of insurgencies have plagued North Nigeria, killing thousands.
In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray.
In just 1 week, 3 incidents shook the entire country and the world. On November 17, armed men stormed a girls' school and abducted 25 students. Just a day later, a church came under attack. 2 worshippers killed and dozens taken hostage. And on the 21st of November, another school was attacked, with more than 300 children vanishing in a single mass abduction. 3 attacks, 3 locations, hundreds of victims, all in less than a week. A reminder that Nigeria's security challenge is not slowing down, but escalating in intensity. An atmosphere of fear and uncertainty has gripped the nation. So, what is driving the surge of crimes in Nigeria? Who is behind these attacks? And why has Nigeria become one of the most volatile regions in Africa today? We tell you all this and more on WION Wideangle this week. On the 21st of November, Nigeria's north-central Niger state, armed bandits kidnapped more than 300 students from a private Catholic school. One of the biggest abductions the country has seen in years. Officials first said 227 people were missing, but after verifying the records, the number was updated to over 300 students and 12 teachers. 2 days later, according to the Christian Association of Nigeria, 50 students managed to escape and return to their families. 250 students from the school and 3 children belonging to school staff members and 12 teachers still remain captive.
The police command has confirmed the incident, a move that forced the government to shut 47 colleges. The government frowned at the Catholic school because it ignored an instruction that boarding schools should be closed based on intelligence indicating a high chance of attacks.
This attack comes during a sharp rise in violence by armed groups across the region. According to local people, the attackers entered the school around 2 a.m. local time, moving quickly through the dormitories and capturing students who were sleeping inside. The scale of this kidnapping has now surpassed even the 2014 Chibok abduction, where 276 girls were taken by Boko Haram. Boko Haram is a prominent violent extremist and militant group operating primarily in northeastern Nigeria, but also active in Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. The name Boko Haram is a Hausa term that popularly translates to Western education is forbidden or Westernization is sacrilege. The group is fighting to establish an Islamic state in Nigeria, stemming from its opposition to Western influence. Boko Haram has carried out some of the deadliest terror attacks in Nigeria. In 2012, the group launched a series of bombings in the city of Kano, killing more than 180 people in just one day. In August 2011, they attacked the United Nations office in Abuja, killing at least 21 people and injuring many more. On Christmas Day in 2011, a suicide bomb targeted St. Teresa's Catholic Church in Madalla, killing at least 37 worshippers and wounding around 50 others. Over the years, Boko Haram has also attacked schools, kidnapped children, and turned educational institutions into targets of fear. Look at these visuals. Days after latest Nigeria mass kidnapping, if anything is left in this school, then it is the silence. The mass kidnappings prompted some federal and state-run schools in northern Nigeria to close to forestall further attacks temporarily. On the 24th of November, at least 50 of the more than 300 students abducted by gunmen escaped their captors and were reunited with their families. According to authorities, the school children escaped individually between 21st and 22nd November.
Between Friday and Saturday up until early hours of today, Sunday, 50 of these children, they escaped. This was, we count it as a sigh of relief for us because the number has reduced. And out of the 303 children, we have 12 staff, which makes the total number to 315. So we have 50 of these children back to their parents if reunited with their parents. Currently, the school is shut down.
13-year-old Stephen Samuel was already tied up and marched into the forest with his classmates after gunmen raided his school in northwestern Nigeria until a broken motorcycle gave him a chance to flee. The young pupil escaped from the gunmen while one of the attackers was distracted trying to repair his bike on the day of the assault.
When the gunmen came, they met us sleeping.
When the gunmen came, they met us sleeping and they woke us up and told us to lie down. When we laid down, they tied us. When they finished tying us, they told us to stand up. When we were about to come out from the school, they opened the office and they removed the picture of Mary and they shot it with the gun. When we came out, as we were going on the road, they saw one car coming and they started shooting the car with their gun, and that car did not stop. I ran. He did not see me. I ran. He did not see me. I started going. I didn't know where to follow. I didn't know the place to follow. I was going until I met one of our neighbors here and he saw me, and then I went to their house.
Several parents are still desperately searching for their children days after they were kidnapped. Ninkonye, a mother whose child was among those taken, sat on the ground near St. Mary's private Catholic secondary school, distraught at finding no trace of her missing child.
I came to the school. I'm here searching and looking whether I will see any child that returned, but I've not seen any child.
Martha Matthias, a teacher at the school, recounted the harrowing ordeal in which her husband was taken.
They asked my husband to come out.
They asked my husband to come out, and when he went out, they tied him. Later, they tied me as well. I wanted to meet my son. When I went to meet my children, my husband was lying down. Meanwhile, my daughter started shouting. They told her if she does not keep quiet, they will shoot her. They put the gun in her mouth, telling her to keep quiet, that she should go back.
On the 22nd of November, Niger's governor Mohamed Umar Bago said that all schools in Niger will be closed following the mass kidnapping.
Nigeria is the only country we have, and Niger State is our state. As such, we must continue as government to protect the lives and properties of our citizens. In this decision, the stakeholders today have decided to close all schools in Niger State.
On the 17th of November, unidentified gunmen abducted 25 female students and killed the vice principal of a majority Muslim government girls' boarding school in Nigeria's Kebbi state. The assailants, armed with rifles and reportedly using coordinated tactics, stormed government girls' comprehensive secondary school in Maga town around 4 a.m. local time and engaged police in a gunfight before scaling the perimeter fence and seizing the students. The school's vice principal, Hassan Yakubu Makuku, was shot dead while resisting the attackers, and another staff member sustained gunshot injuries.
As they entered, they pulled their guns to shoot him. He pleaded, "Don't shoot me, allow me to stand up." As he got up, he praised God, saying, "Allah is the greatest, no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger." He urged me not to cry and to continue praising God. I joined him in his prayers. Then they pulled the trigger and shot him. As he fell, I immediately rushed to touch him, but they pointed a gun at me and said, "If you touch him, we will shoot you."
The unfortunate thing has already happened. They have abducted our children. We have come, we have seen things by ourselves. And we see the parent that their children were being abducted. And we give them confidence, we give them our words that we'll do everything possible to ensure that their children are being rescued.
On the 25th of November, the group of 24 Nigerian girls who were abducted from their boarding school were released. The country's president said one was able to escape soon after the abduction. At least 1,500 students have been kidnapped in northwestern Nigeria since the 2014 abduction of 276 Chibok schoolgirls by Boko Haram Islamist militants. On the streets, Nigerians expressed their outrage over the kidnappings and the government's failure in tackling the insecurity in the country.
What do we want? Action! Bring back! Bring back! Bring back!
I will only say that this government is not trying its best because so many things has happened, and with the situation of things around this country, they are not supposed to. Since they have an intelligence report, they are supposed to act even before it is being carried out. So I would say they don't really know what they are doing in the government. It's better for them to just resign and just leave.
A day after the kidnapping of the 25 schoolgirls, on the 18th of November, gunmen attacked the Christ Apostolic Church in the town of Eruku in Kwara state, killing at least 2 people and kidnapping the pastor and several other worshippers, piling more pressure on the government. Reportedly, the gunmen have issued a ransom demand of 100 million naira, or roughly $69,000 per worshipper. Police responded to gunfire on the evening of 18th November. One person was fatally shot inside the church and another was shot in a nearby bush. Nigerians say they no longer feel safe in their own homes as a surge in kidnappings and banditry grips the nation. Residents are calling on the government to deploy more security forces to protect churches, schools, and public spaces.
I don't think anybody feels safe. Aside me, I don't think anybody feels safe for what is happening in Nigeria presently, because the kidnapping, the bandits everywhere, the killing, everybody is so scared. Even to sleep, if you are sleeping now, I don't think people are sleeping with their eyes closed. If you hear any noise anywhere, you just wake up, because everywhere is not safe in Nigeria presently.
I think the government should try by all means to adopt a system whereby there will be security agencies that will be released to churches, schools, and other infrastructures that at least the people can be safe when they are around their place of duty and workplaces.
Kebbi, Kwara, and Niger states border one another. The scale of the attacks in this region was so serious that President of the country, Bola Tinubu, cancelled planned trips to South Africa and Angola, where he was scheduled to attend major international meetings, including the G20 meeting in Johannesburg. No group has come forward to claim responsibility for these recent kidnappings. But security officials say the attackers are most likely criminal gangs, commonly known as bandits. These gangs do not have a political or religious agenda. Their main goal is to make money. They kidnap large groups of people and demand a ransom from families, communities, or the government. The attacks usually follow the same pattern. The gangs arrive heavily armed, fire shots in the air to cause panic, grab as many people as possible, and immediately disappear into the forests.
These are done by bandit groups, and bandit groups do not necessarily have an Islamist ideology to them. They are mostly groups that form gangs whose modus operandi is mostly to kidnap, to carry out as many kidnappings as possible to raise enough money, to raise enough ransom from communities, from families, and more often than not, to the government.
Much of northern Nigeria is struggling with serious insecurity. More than 20 out of the country's 36 states have regular cases of kidnapping, attacks, and violence. In the northwest, criminal gangs operate from large forests. These groups are not connected to terrorist groups. Their main motive is money, and they target villagers, travelers, and school children. In the northeast, the threat is different. Here, Boko Haram and the Islamic State West Africa province, known as ISWAP, have been fighting the government since 2009. The insurgency has caused massive damage. More than 2 million people have been forced to leave their homes, and tens of thousands have been killed in 15 years of violence. In central Nigeria, where the mainly Muslim north meets the mainly Christian south, there are frequent clashes over land, water, and differences in ethnic and religious identities. These conflicts often turn deadly and add another layer to the country's troubles. Nigeria has a population of over 236 million people. Christians, who have a population of 70 million, mostly live in the south, and Muslims live in the north. An estimated 120 million Muslims reside in the country, making it the fifth largest Muslim population globally. Experts say that in some cases, Christian communities do get targeted in certain northern states. But overall data shows that most victims of violence in the north are Muslims, because that is where most attacks happen.
The most identified culprit by the Americans on the attacks on Christian communities has mostly been Islamist groups, especially Boko Haram. So all of the American ideology behind trying to solve the problem has been about military strikes to target where Boko Haram operates from. As I've said previously, these attacks on schools have not necessarily been carried out by Boko Haram, especially across the north central and across the northwestern regions of Nigeria. They've been carried out by bandit groups seeking ransoms.
Some security analysts say that the main reasons for this violence are poverty, corruption, weak law enforcement, and porous borders, which allow guns and criminals to move easily. In the northeast, extremist groups like Boko Haram use religion as a part of their ideology, but in the northwest and central regions, most attacks are not about religion at all. They are about money, power, and control. Criminal gangs there kidnap villagers, travelers, and farming communities, many of whom are Christian, but their motive is ransom, not religion.
Next one.
The data shows that it's essentially a free-for-all, so Christians, Muslims, or those of other religious persuasions. The fact of the matter remains that the confluence of economic, political, social, and environmental factors means that for many communities in this country, the overwhelming majority of whom are religiously and ethnically diverse, the preconditions exist for violence to occur.
Nigeria is not only battling insurgency, but also a series of hunger crises that is getting worse every month. The United Nations World Food Programme says that violence and instability in northern Nigeria are pushing hunger to record levels.
We are witnessing a deterioration of hunger and malnutrition. Insurgent attacks have intensified, and communities are carrying the weight of this. Hunger is now reaching levels we have not seen in years. If families cannot eat and fear continues to grow, desperation will take hold. Armed groups can use that desperation to tighten their grip, putting the wider region even at greater risk.
According to the World Food Programme, nearly 35 million people in Nigeria could go hungry in 2026 if help does not reach them. The agency also warns that it will run out of funds by December, making the situation even more dangerous. The latest regional food security report shows the highest level of hunger ever recorded in Nigeria since monitoring began. Almost 1 million people in northeast Nigeria depend on the WFP for food, but a major funding shortage forced the WFP to reduce its nutrition programs in July, affecting more than 300,000 children. In areas where clinics have been closed, malnutrition has gone from serious to critical. The biggest donor to the WFP, the United States, has cut a large part of its foreign aid under President Donald Trump. Other countries have also reduced their support. Now, with funds set to run out by December, the WFP says millions of Nigerians who count on emergency food and nutrition aid may have no support left in 2026. US President Donald Trump's administration is promoting efforts to work with Nigeria's government to counter violence against Christians, signaling a broader strategy. This comes after Trump ordered preparations for possible military action and warned that the United States could go in guns blazing to wipe out Islamic militants.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns are blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities.
A senior State Department official explained that the U.S. strategy is much wider. It includes diplomatic pressure, possible sanctions against groups or individuals involved in the violence, and intelligence sharing with the Nigerian government. In Nigeria, the real number of people kidnapped is still unknown because many cases are never reported. But what we do know is alarming. Beacon Security recorded a 100% rise in kidnappings from 2024 to 25, and armed attacks have gone up by more than 250%. The Safe Schools initiative, launched in 2014 to protect students, has not been effective as mass abductions continue. More than 2 years into this term, President Bola Tinubu is facing criticism as daily violence remain unchecked, despite promises to add more security forces and improve their training, as Nigeria faces rising attacks, deepening hunger and pressure to act. The country's future and the safety of millions remains uncertain.